Hello, I'm Trey and welcome to another of my craft tutorials. In this one it's going to be a card making tutorial, and I want to give an example of how I use glitter pens and metallic pens to highlight and decorate elements on my cards. I'm going to be using various elements on this card, and most of it will be cut and dyed, but also a topper. Now I have a large collection of artwork which I'd bought over the years, JPEG, vintage, Paint Shop Pro artwork, and I tend to use Paint Shop Pro program to create my own toppers. So this is one that I've made, and it's a vintage theme, so I've gone with a kind of vintage design for the backing paper. I stuck that onto a 5x7 card, did that already. So I've got all my elements, and as always I try to do the layout of the card before I do anything else. So I want to see how it's all going to work together before I stick anything down. So I kind of just work it out a little bit beforehand, and that saves me later on finding nothing works or nothing fits. So for instance, I want to move that further down. Now I just find this helps me really, and also it gives me an idea what I have to stick down first. Now I've got this cute little hedgehog, and I've got a nice bird that I'll be sticking on. These are all elements from various cut and die sets I've got. And it doesn't matter if you haven't got the same, if you've got something similar, just use those. These just give you an idea what I use. And I'm going to put some extra flower bits on there with little gems. So that's how basically the card's going to work out, as long as I remember. So I will take all those sections off now, because now I want to use my gel pens to do some highlights. So I'll take all those off, put them to one side. The first thing I'm going to stick down is this layer. Now this was a cut and die which I cut out with this colour card, and then I use an embossing folder to put the pattern in it. So I'm going to do that first, stick that down. Just using tacky glue. So I'm going to put a little bit of weight on that, because this is something I always do. I tend to find otherwise it lifts. While that's drying, I will now highlight the other things I want to highlight, and using a glitter pen. Now I have a set, and I've had a set for many years, of Sakura Jelly Roll glitter pens and metallic pens. Now I've had this set 15 years, and they're still going, and they haven't dried out. It shows the actual quality of these pens. I'm not sure if you can still get them, but you know, I've had these a long time. So however, any glitter pen or metallic pen you want to use to do something similar, you know, what's in your stash. Now I'm using a pink one because my colour scheme is pink, and all I'm going to be doing is highlighting little bits on sections of my elements, and this is all the die cut elements. Find out these are good quality. I don't need to put a lot down. I'm doing this now as well because I want them to dry, you know, while the other bit's sticking down and gluing, because they take a slight amount of time to dry. You know, I like to do this before I stick anything else down. Give you time to dry. And there's no method to this. I just look at the pattern and see what I feel would look nice highlighted. And some of these little thorns and spikes on the edge would look quite nice, highlighted. I'm not sure if you're picking up on that. Can you see the glitter? Yeah, it's nice and subtle, but it's a lovely effect. Now I'm going to do the flowers, and I'm going to go around the edges of these flowers just to give a little bit of a highlight. And of course in different colours it stands out more depending on what colour you use. Always a difficult bit when you get to the point where, wait a minute, I've coloured all the edges and I've got no space left to hold it. So again, I mean, see the glitter on that. So all of the other flowers I'll do the same. So I went round all those flowers, around the edge of the petals with the glitter pen. And it doesn't matter if you haven't got the same flower pattern as me, just any kind of flower pattern you've got in your die cut sets, you can do the same. And that little bit of detail just picks things up, gives a nice interesting highlight to, you know, a small element. So I've done the flowers now. Now I've come into this almost like a flower swirl. Now I think this one's an X-cut one, I'm pretty sure it is. I've had it quite a lot of years. You know, again, I didn't, you know, I haven't used this one a lot either because it's quite big. It'll only go on the 5x7 card. But I'm going to do some highlights. Now with this, it's got some nice leaves, so I'm going to put the highlights on the leaves because the flowers are going to get covered up. The reason I cover up these flowers, not that there's anything wrong with them, it's just I don't like the big gap in the middle. So that's why I do that. So I'm just going to go around the edge of the leaves, and again it's a nice little highlight detail which makes that slightly interesting. If you have, you don't have to have this particular die, you can have other swirl floral dies, and just look at your element and see the sections that you can highlight, you know, maybe just the tips, a quarter of the way at the ends, stuff like that. This one's got a very slight ridge around each leaf, so that's what I'm doing, I'm just highlighting that ridge. So just have a little look at your die, see if there's anything you feel you could use as a guideline for your highlight. And as well, if you wanted to, you could, if there's any swirls or edges like that, just put a little bit on those. Do that on this. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on this, I'm not putting a lot down, because like I say, I'm not sure if you can actually get these pens anymore, so I tend to use them quite lightly so they'll last longer, and they've lasted me a long time doing that way. But because of quite good coverage, I've always felt I didn't need a lot with these. Get my hand out of the way. And do this little one here as well. It's interesting how the pen itself looks slightly different colour depending on what colour card you put it on. Well, that's always interesting. It's almost slightly opaque. Right, so again, a little bit of interest, and in the light, I'm not sure if it comes up, but it really does glitter. It's lovely. So I'm going to go back to my original card now. And there's my layer that's now stuck down. So I want this to actually go slightly underneath the topper. So it's going to be sitting there. However, I also know that some of these dots will be visible underneath the topper. So I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting of those dots as well. So while that's drying, I just get my pen, even if it's just around the corners, and just highlight some of these dots. It's a lot more subtle on the darker card, but it still catches the light. If we look at how that's going to look, put my topper back down, and that gives it a nice pattern, top and bottom. It's just a little bit of extra, but it's surprising what a difference it makes when you're using things like this to highlight. So now I'm going to be doing sticking this down. Now, because it's quite thin sections, I can't always use foam pads on these. So I'm going to be using silicone gel or silicone glue. And I tend to use a cocktail stick to put my silicone glue on. I just put it on the end of the cocktail stick and spread it onto the thinner elements. Now we use my tweezers, just when it gets a bit messy, because I always end up with glue on my fingers. Place that on the card and just gently tap down, enough so the glue takes and sticks to the bottom. Right, so that's my first element on the card. Now I'm going to put this one on now, my topper, and then I can work out where my flowers are going to go and my other little elements. Well, I've done it this way when it comes to the topper and the swirl flower die. You could do it the other way. You could put the swirl flower die on second. It overlaps your topper. It's up to you. But because I like to see the artwork quite a lot. You know, if I use one, I tend to do it the other way around. There we go. Just press that down. The colours are working quite nice on these. Yeah, it looks lovely. Now then, my bird and my hedgehog, it's so cute. I'm going to put the hedgehog on with foam because, sorry, not foam, silicone gel, because of the fact it's got little holes in it. So you'll see that. You'll see foam pads through that. So my bird, place, no, where should I put it? I think I'll put it there, yeah. Sitting on there. It's almost like you're building a little scene. My tag will go at the top. I'll put it at a slight angle, because I kind of like things sometimes at a jaunty angle. And now I'm going to put my hedgehog on. Gently tap that down. And now it's flowers time. Now I've got a very small one to go over that flower. I'll put that one on first. I'll put foam pads on the back of these ones. And I've got two bigger ones, same size, so go over the other two bigger flowers. Now I sometimes take some extra off if it comes out that way, but it doesn't really matter because it dries clear, so you don't have to take that off. Right, so I'll clean that up in a bit. That is the finished card. Now obviously I did a lot of prep work off camera, you know, cutting out the pieces, but just a little bit of highlighting with the glitter on, bring it further up, there you go, and you can see just how lovely that is. A little bit of a glitter pen. So I do hope people have found that interesting, give you some ideas. Please do post any comments, any thoughts. I'd love to read them. So I'll say bye for now, and I'll see you again with another tutorial.